and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen my first video, I'm currently trying to make a solo journaling game which centers around relationship building, and the goal of the game is to trigger as many good and bad endings as you can with the characters that you meet during your encounters. And in my last video, I playtested my game for the very first time, and it really did not work. The mechanics were very broken, and so I made some adjustments to the mechanics, and I am hoping that they work this time. That's what we're going to be seeing in this video. I also want to say that last time my video was so long because I was also trying to create a story at the same time as I was testing the mechanics, and that we just don't have time for that. I really just want to see how the mechanics are working. So we're completely not going to do any story. We're not going to create any characters. We're not going to do any of the journal entries. We're simply just going to track the mechanics and everything like that. And the first thing I want to do is just briefly explain some of the changes that I made to the game. The first change that we made is I simply just renamed the inventory items to gifts, because I was saying earlier that I felt like one of the problems, or I was saying in my last video, that I felt like one of the problems was that we were being confused between conversation topics and items. And so what I did instead is now we have this gift inventory, and then I have also further separated the inventory into items and topics so that we don't have to write in parentheses next to it whether it's an item or a topic, because I do like the idea of keeping that. And that's just a very minor change, and that way there's just no confusion about, like, is this an item, is this an inventory item, etc. The next change I made is that we are keeping items in our inventory now, or we're keeping the gifts. They are permanent. So before they were all single use, now they are permanent except if you draw a reversal, in which case it becomes single use. The next big change that I made was to the impression oracle. Before, there was a neutral option, and there was also like a reversal oracle and stuff like that. But this time, all we have are just these different numbers and just one oracle to refer to. And I think that's also going to be better for me, because if you recall in my last video, I kept using the wrong oracle, like I was accidentally not using the reversal oracle and all that stuff. So I feel like it'll just be easier, on my mind at least, to just have this one oracle. The other change I made was to your favorite suit. So now the favorite suit does two things. If the character likes the suit, then after rolling, we will add 1 RP. So let's say I rolled a 4, that's plus 1 RP, and then plus another RP, which is relationship points. Then that would be plus 2. And then if the character dislikes the suit, then same thing, except we will subtract an RP. We haven't made any change to the good or bad endings. We're still going to aim for 5 RP to see how that is working today. And then the last thing is I changed all of the season decks so that we are pulling more cards from the minor arcana and less cards, or pulling more cards from the major arcana and less cards from the minor arcana. So that way we'll be getting less items. And the last change I made was I created a character tracker where by default we will automatically know some things that they like and some things that they dislike. Last time we were really pressed for time because we only had these 4 seasons, and so I just felt like it would be helpful if we knew some in advance so that we didn't have to spend a lot of time trying to discover what their likes and dislikes are. And if you recall, the reason why we want to know that is because if they like the suit, then we will roll with advantage if we know that they like it. If we know that they dislike it, then we will roll with disadvantage. And the last thing of note is that for our main character, we're going to just use Katrina again, and we're going to make it so that her favorite suit is coins like last time. So now let's create our spring season deck. We need to take 1 card from 2 suit decks of our choice. So since Coins is our favorite. We're gonna do a coins, and then let's do a swords. And then we're gonna add 6 cards from the Major Arcana deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm gonna shuffle this. Now I'm going to reverse 3 random cards, and then I'm gonna shuffle again. And this is our season deck completed. Okay, let's pull our first card. Okay, we got the tower again. In our last playthrough, we kept getting the tower too. All right, so I'm just going to keep track of everything here, just keeping it very simple. And we don't have any gifts or anything, so we're just gonna roll for impression. We don't have anything in our inventory. Okay, so we got a 4, and I can't remember. 4 is, okay, 4 is +1. So, impression is, and let's go to the tower. For our next card, we've got 4 of coins reversed, which is unfortunate because it would be nice to have some permanent items. So I'm gonna say gold ring. And we need to note that it is single use because it's reversed. That goes in our discard pile. Okay. Next, King of Swords reversed. Oh no. Why are they both reversed? So right off the bat, we are only getting single use items. Let's just say a sword. Single use. Oh, I forgot to write these down. So we got, this one was 4 of coins reversed. And we got a, what was it? We got a gold coin. Next was King of Swords reversed, and we got a sword. All right. Next, the Hanged Man. And now we have some items we can use. Hanged Man. Let's roll for impression. 5. So that should be plus. That's very good. So that will be, you know what? Instead of writing the very good or whatever, I'm just going to write what the RP is because I think that'll be easier. So this one was +1 RP. And then I'm going to present an item. Let me take a look at my inventory. So the Hanged Man, what is the Hangman? The Hangman likes cups and dislikes swords. And we have only a sword and a coin. So you know what? I'm not going to use anything because I don't really want to waste my single-use item right now. So the Hanged Man is +2. Next, the Chariot reversed. Okay. So that's all of our 3 reversals right there. The Chariot reversed. Impression. Let's roll for impression. 5. So 5 is also +2. And let's see. What does the Chariot... It might be better to just save my items for now. Although we know that the Chariot likes coins. And we have a single-use coin item. And if we get a reversed Major Arcana, the item becomes single-use. So it behooves us to use a single-use item when we pull a reversed Major Arcana. So let's go ahead and let's use our gold ring. Okay, so we know that they like coins, so we get to roll with advantage. So I'm just gonna roll 2. Okay, so we get to use 5, which means plus 2. And it's our favorite suit. Wait, okay, I'm getting a little confused. Okay, so impression plus 2. And then we also get another plus 2 for the item. And then because it's our favorite suit, we get plus 1. Okay. We used the gold coin. So that is 5 total. Oh my god, so we already triggered an ending. That's kind of wild. So maybe 5 is not a good number then, because we have basically already triggered an ending with a character. The chariot. So the next time we meet the chariot, we would get some sort of ending. Okay, let's keep going. The lovers. Just let me zoom in. The lovers. Impression 1. Okay, so that's -3. We do not have a good impression on them. And I'm not going to use any item. Let's get our next, the star. So our last card is the star. Let's roll for impression. 6. So that is plus 3. Okay, so for the lovers we need -3. Lovers -3. And then the star +3. So we're definitely progressing a lot faster like I wanted us to, but this means that we might need to increase our ending threshold like I was thinking we might need to do. Okay, so now the last thing we need to do is roll on our season end oracle. And for the season end oracle, oh, that was another change that I made. Last time, if you rolled a 2, then you would have gotten a permanent item because all the items were single use. But this time I just made it so that 2 and 5 are the same, so that you get an extra encounter basically. So let us roll on the season end oracle. So we got a 3. This means we need to flip 1 relationship stat for any character that's not at 0 RP. All right. Let's take a look at our stats. So right now, here's what we have. I'm gonna go ahead and flip the lovers, or no, I'll keep that one at minus. So I'll flip the hanged man, put that at -2. And that's the end of spring. So we are already moving along very quickly. All right, so for summer, we are once again pulling from one card from 2 suit decks of our choice. So I'm once again gonna do coins, and then this time I'll do cups. And then 4 cards from our known characters deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 cards from the major Arcana deck. And then once again, we are going to shuffle, reverse 3 cards, and then shuffle again. Great, let's begin summer. The lovers again. Let's roll for impression. 5. And 5 is +2. And I'm not gonna use any items because I only have 1. The chariot. Okay, and the chariot, so now we get to trigger our ending with the chariot. And because it's a +5, we get the good ending. -5 is the bad ending. And this also means that we are now retiring the chariot, so we can no longer pull this card anymore. So I'm gonna set that aside. Next. Oh my god, again? Why are these the ones that keep being reversed? Like, it's kind of funny because last time I was complaining so much about having too many items. And this time I feel like I'm hurting for items because I keep getting the reversals. So we need to make a single-use item. 10 of coins. Let's see, coins. No, yeah, coins. So I'll make a topic. I'll say the country is, or I'll just say the economy. Single use. And one of the reasons why I think the single use topic is kind of interesting is because, for example, if you have a single use item, then of course you could just like give it to the person, or you could maybe throw it away or whatever. Like, let's say the character, they presented it to a character and the character really hated the item, and so your protagonist might be like, okay, now I hate this item so much I don't even want to look at it, I'm going to throw it away. And for the topics, it could be that perhaps there's just such a bad reaction to talking about the economy that she was like, your character was like, I'm never ever talking about the economy again. And so that's what makes it single use. It's all about how you want to spin the story because, like I said, these are just the mechanics, and the real joy of the game, for me at least, is the creation of the story, which kind of, when you're doing it this way, it really makes it not seem as as interesting, I guess, when you're speed running it. But anyway, let's keep going. So we've got the Wheel of Fortune, and this one is a new character. Let's roll for impression. 3. So 3 is -1, right? 3 is -1. I'm not gonna use anything. Justice. Impression 1. Okay, we had a really bad impression. -3. Let me write those down. So Wheel of Fortune. The wheel was -1, and then Justice was -3. So I do like that we are getting to meet a variety of characters now. Oh my god, why does this keep happening? I'm so unlucky. I swear I have like the worst luck ever, just in general. So now we have another single-use item. The whole reason why I made them permanent was because, you know, like because we're pulling a lot less items now, it means that having permanent items would be really useful. But now all we're getting are the single items. But honestly, we're doing fine regardless, I feel. So let's see. Ace of Cups. Let's do a chalice. Chalice, single use. Oh man. And our last card of the season is the Star. Damn, yeah, so once again, we are kind of hurting for items here. 2. Impression is, 2 is -2, right? Yeah. Okay. And then the Star. So the Star, we're at +3, so this is actually kind of bad because we were at +3, and then we're gonna go to -1, which really sucks because that means that we're losing the progress that we made. So I think I'm actually going to use an item. The Star, we know that they don't like cups and they like wands. We don't have any wands. So, I think let's use our sword, and that way we can find out whether they like or dislike swords. So let's see. The Star. So we're gonna use our sword. And the impression is going to be, so we don't get to roll with advantage or disadvantage because we don't know. 4. So that means that they had a good impression. And good is, well, 4 is +2. And this means that they like the sword. So I guess we're kind of back. We're back at +3. But now we know that they like sports. It's kind of funny because this is exactly what was happening to me last time too, was I would constantly like roll -1 and then +1 and then -1 and then +1, and it would just keep canceling each other out. But at least we're back to our progress. Okay, the season end oracle. Five, choose a character to have an extra encounter with. So we get to roll for impression and use items again if we wish. Okay, so who do we want to have another ending with? Let's take a look at our, or who do we want to have another? I think because the wheel, either the wheel or the tower, they're both so low that it would be advantageous to have another meeting with one of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the wheel. Another encounter. So I choose the wheel. Impression is 2. So that is -2. Okay, I'm not gonna use an item. But now we are at -3, which is good because we just want to be as close to 5 in either direction as we can. So whether it's good or bad, I mean, narratively, if you would rather not write about bad endings, then sure, I suppose you might not want to to get yourself down there. Okay, so the tower, we're gonna put all of these back into our known character decks. And let's set up for autumn. But to make this easier on myself so I don't have to keep moving the decks back and forth, I just put them all on the side here. So let us go to autumn. For autumn, we are going to add 6 cards from our known characters deck, and if we don't have enough, we'll pull the remainder from the Major Arcana deck. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we have 6 exactly. And then add cards from any suit until you have 8 cards total. So that's 2. We can choose 2 of anything. What items do we have? We don't have any wands, and we don't have any swords anymore. So let's do a wands and a sword. So my swords are up here. My wands are down here. Okay, and then I'm going to reverse 3 cards and shuffle again as normal. So right now I am feeling better about the way that this is progressing, because at least I feel like we are making progress in some direction, because we're already on autumn. So ideally I feel like this is pretty good progress to have made at this point. So maybe 5 RP is a good ending threshold, but let's see. Okay, so we got Wheel of Fortune again. Wheel of Fortune. Our impression will be, okay, -3. And that one we were already doing bad on, right? So don't we, yeah, we're now at -6. Awesome. So we have now, we're gonna trigger an ending with the Wheel of Fortune next time. Cool. All right. I'm not gonna give any items because we've already hit the threshold. Justice. Impression. 1. -3. Let's see. Justice was already at -3 too. So now we have another ending triggered. Okay, our next card, the Lovers reversed. The Lovers is at -3 also. And if we did want to use an item here, we would have to make it single use, but we already have all single use items, so it's not like that matters. 3. So 3 is good. 3 is +1. Okay. And how is our relationship with the lovers? Oh, okay, so we are going in the opposite direction now. Do I want to use an item then? Because maybe I can force us to get another ending. Because the whole thing is like, you can only trigger the ending on the next meeting, which means that you should trigger the endings in autumn so that when you get them in winter, you can write the endings. Oh wait, yeah. So I might use an item. So we know that they don't like wands and they like swords. I think we have a swords. No, we don't have swords anymore. Okay, let's use the chalice. 3. So they like the chalice. So that means that they like cups. So we know they like cups now. And 3 is +1, so that now gets us to -1. Okay, so we made even less progress. Because ideally, we would either want to be... We were pretty close to -5, unfortunately, but... Oh well. Alright, our next card is... Oh my god, another... What is up with the reversals? Seriously. That's kind of wild to me that they're all the items have been reversed. And I promise you, I know I'm a bad shuffler, but even so, I was making an attempt to shuffle before I reversed the card, so it wasn't like I knew that I was reversing the swords, you know, or I knew that I was reversing the minor arcana. Okay, so we need to create another single-use item. Let's do a topic. Let's say... I used this one in our last one, but military tactics. Single use. Great. Next, the tower. Tower impression 2. So a 2 is +2. Yes. So I want to use any items. Let's see. Let's first adjust the tower. It might be good to use an item because we're at 3. If we could roll something else good, like cups. We know they like cups, and we don't have cups anymore. Oh my god, we just use our cups. So we can't roll for advantage, but we do have military tactics and we have the economy, but we know that they don't like coins. Or where's the tower? Yes, we know that they don't like coins. So we don't want to use that because we want to get to +5 since we're closer to that. I think should I use an item? We're not gonna get any more items after this because in winter I made it so that you no longer pull any items. Which maybe I should make it so that you can pull at least one item. I don't know, because how unfortunate. Like, what are the chances of this happening that every single one is single use and I don't have anything that I could use going into winter? I think because we are so close, let's just go ahead and use our military tactics. Let's see. So we don't know, so we're just gonna roll normally. Okay, so that's good. They liked the military tactics. So the tower is now at +4, and they like swords. Let's see. We used military tactics. Next, we got the star reversed. Let's roll for impression. 1. So that is -3. Let's see, the star was... Ah, damn. So now we're at 0 because we had a good relationship with the star. I'm not going to use an item, I think, because it doesn't really... I wonder if maybe I should make it so that reversed major arcana do something else, or perhaps just in general change what the reversals do. Instead of being single use, there could be some other function. But I'm not sure what else I would want to do. We got the Hanged Man for our last autumn card. 5, so that is +2 for impression. Hanged Man. Oh my god, now we're back at 0 again. Okay, well, I don't know. I am kind of feeling like 5 might be a good number because I feel like there's a decent, like, it's not like we've hit it with everybody, but we did hit it with some people, and that feels satisfying to me. Our season end oracle. Because the goal isn't like to hit it with absolutely everybody, but to just at least try to get some. Okay, 1. A character dies or moves away. Remove them from your known character's deck and put them in the discard pile. Oh no. Well, let's use one of the ones that we don't really care about then, because I don't want to use any of the Chariot, the Wheel, or Justice, because we're gonna trigger an ending, hopefully. So let's actually use the Hanged Man, since they're right here anyway. So the Hanged Man, we're gonna, yeah. They are kaput, unfortunately. And this one must be another item. Oh my god, look at this, look at this. Of course, the one non-reversed item we did not get in the season. I swear, like, can you guys believe how absolutely unlucky I am? Okay, I'm gonna shuffle the known characters deck and prepare for our last season. For winter, the rules that I created for the season deck was that we were only going to be using our known characters deck, and then we're still gonna do the reversals, which at this point for us it doesn't really matter because we only have single use items. But anyway, and then we do have less than 7 cards because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means that we're gonna run out of cards. Then we're gonna reshuffle again, pull from it again. So that means we have a chance to have 2 encounters with 2 different people, which is pretty nice. But potentially I might add 1 item card in here. Like, it might be good to do at least 1, or I keep saying item because I'm used to that, but I mean gift. 1 gift card, 1 minor arcana card, perhaps. But anyway, let us continue. So here is our known characters deck. Oh, I forgot to write the oracle here was character died. The Hanged Man died. All right, winter. The tower. Let's roll for impression. 5. So that is +2. Let's see, the tower was at, oh yay, so we got an ending with the tower because now we're at +6. So if we can pull the tower again, we can write an ending. And that is the nice thing about reshuffling the deck, is that you do have the chance to do that. The Lovers. I just realized that I forgot to reverse 3 cards, but like I said, it doesn't matter since all of our items are single use anyway, so I'm just gonna leave it. 3. So 3 is minus 1. Why did I write the lower? The Lovers. I think I got confused by tower there. Okay, so the Lovers is -1. Yeah, we're not gonna get anywhere with the Lovers, so I'm just gonna leave them alone. Wheel of Fortune. So the wheel is at +6, so we get our ending. Awesome. So wheel, oh my god. Wheel, we get our good ending. And this means they are retired. And then the star, was the star 0 or? Yeah, the star was 0. So we don't get an ending with the star. Unless we can't manage. Oops. We can't manage to get any farther with them. The star impression was, what was it? It was a 2. So that is -2. So we're not -2. And then justice. Justice. We got a 4, so that impression is +1. Let's see, justice. Oh wait, no, justice was, oh yeah, justice was, is a, wait, was that a good ending or a bad ending? Yeah, justice, oh no, the wheel was a bad ending too. Okay, so the wheel and justice are bad endings. I forgot, I thought the wheel was +6. So we actually didn't need to roll for impression. We get our bad ending. And now we need to do the cards again. Let's get our 6th card. We got the star again, which is not somebody we really want. I really want the tower so we can get our next ending. 3. So 3 is -1. The star. So we're now at -3 with the star. And then our last character, who is it gonna be? The tower, yes! Oh my god, awesome. We got lucky for once. For once in our life, we got lucky. And was that a good or a bad? The tower was +6, so we got a good ending with the tower. Good ending. And then the tower is retired. So the reason why we might want to keep the distinction between retired and not retired characters is because we can actually play a second year if we want to. So I have rules for multiple years. Like if you want to keep going with the game, you could do another year and then you could either choose to continue working on these characters so your relationship points would stay the same, and you can either choose to keep all of these retired characters retired, or you can bring them back and try to even further progress your relationship. And that's basically what I was thinking for that. And like you could end at a year if you want to, or you could keep going until you feel satisfied. Because see, like we've only met 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. So we've met 7 characters of the 22 major arcana. We've only met 7. So I feel like if you really wanted to, you could just keep going, adding more new major arcana, and that way you're continuing your character's story. But yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with these rules. I will say the only thing that felt dissatisfying was the fact that we only pulled these single-use items. But at the same time, look, I mean, we did have an item left over. So did it really make too much of a difference? Probably not. So, the single-use thing might be all right. Although it could be interesting to find some other usage for reversals, because there might be some fun thing. Like, for example, what if, here's a thought that I just had. What if when you get a reversal, it flips the RP? So like, for example, let me roll. So I got a reversed card. So now I have a 6. And that means +3 RP. But because it was a reversal, I now need to do -3 RP. I feel like that could be an interesting mechanic. Instead of doing the whole single use thing. So let's perhaps it flips the roll. Yeah, that might actually be a much better mechanic. But overall, I am feeling pretty satisfied. Our big question was, is 5 RP a good number, a good ending threshold? And I feel like it is. So I think we're gonna stick with 5. And apart from the whole reversals thing, I think I'm actually pretty satisfied with the way that all the rules are, and I'm probably gonna keep them as they are. So yeah, thanks for watching today's video. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.